Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of Over Easy. My name is Manny, in case you're new here.
And I'm new here.
Yeah, we have if you're watching the video component, it's really different this week.
Yes, she's not by herself. We've got a second partner in crime.
For today's episode, I have a special guest. In case you can't already tell, which in case you are listening on Spotify, you're not going to be able to tell, but I do have a special guest sitting approximately 5 centimeters away from me. Would you like to introduce yourself, special guest?
Absolutely. I'm the specialist of all the guests. I'm Jerry, boyfriend of Manny. Whoa! Yeah, and I'm here to join the podcast today because we're going to be talking about some relationship things, and I thought it would be nice to have a co-host that can bounce these ideas off of.
Exactly.
Okay.
Except it's been really hard because it's been 3 minutes and we've probably only gotten about 3 sentences across.
Just put the whole thing on.
I don't know about that. Anyways, this is my first guest, which is kind of scary, and I'm not used to it because I feel a little self-conscious, not gonna lie.
Same.
I feel like when I'm talking by myself in my room, it's just like...
It's a lot easier, yeah.
Yeah, like I kind of forget what I'm saying as I say it.
Oh,
Genuinely.
Sorry for the ones wearing earphones.
Like, when I film by myself, I kind of go into a blackout and I just talk and I kind of vibe by myself.
Okay.
And but then when I listen it back, I'm actually quite shocked at how put together I sound. But now that I have someone here with me, I'm really self-conscious about what I'm saying and stuff like that. Especially because you think when I record, I don't sound like myself. That makes me even more self-conscious.
Yeah, imagine how I feel right now. Yeah. So we were just trying to set up the mic and stuff, and that was like the first time I heard my voice back in a long time, and it's like very deep. It's a lot deeper than what it sounds like in my head, and it's a lot more luscious.
Silky smooth. Anyways, okay, as Jerry said a little bit earlier, we're doing an episode together and we kind of wanted to focus it on relationships, I guess our relationship because we can't really speak for everyone else, and our experiences so far. But before we get into the meat of the episode, we're going to do a little check-in. I told Jerry about this earlier, a rosebud and a thorn. I guess we can go one and alternate, so you can start with your whatever you want to start with.
Okay.
Rose,
yeah.
butter, thorn, and
I'll do rose first. It's been a really long time since I've had a good 4 days off from work, and recently from the BC long weekend, I had such an opportunity. It's the first time that we've gotten to travel since COVID. And it was my first time paddle boarding. Ooh, open water swimming. Ooh, yeah, it was really, really fun. Quite honestly, not only from the new activities, but just being in a different place. We went to an island of sorts.
You could say we went to Victoria.
Oh, okay.
Because I did say that last week.
Okay, nice. Don't want to dox us.
We don't live there, so that's okay.
Okay, there we go. Yeah.
That's a nice rose.
That's my rose.
Good. My rose was just about an hour ago. We went out to eat lunch, and I was really craving Taiwanese fried chicken. And if you've never had it, it's different from, I guess, KFC American fried chicken because I don't even know how
It's juicier. It's
Yeah.
very juicy.
And the skin is also different. It's a little more salty and crunchy. For sure.
It feels like there's like a very fine panko dust on it.
Yeah, and
you'll know if you know.
Yeah,
there's no point in describing it. It's good.
If you've never had it, you should try it. But I was really craving it, and then I finally got it for lunch today, and it was like best thing ever.
Wow. You only get one chef's kiss per episode. You just used it up.
Along with the bubble tea that I had, which was really delicious. Yeah, that's my rose.
Okay, sick.
Wait, my other roses I feel pretty cute today.
That's
Confidence is high.
You know what? That's also my rose. I'm having a good time looking at it. Okay, nice. So I guess we'll do thorn next. Okay, so it's a little bittersweet. Double-edged sword of having a long vacation is that you come back to work and there's a lot of things to catch up on, right? So just a lot of client interactions, a lot of scheduling interactions. Oh, good Lord. And a lot of operations that I have to catch back on. But at least the work week was only 3 days.
Did you think it was worth it?
Okay, well, yesterday I really didn't, but I think in retrospect, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it was good.
My thorn for this week is I haven't been sleeping that well,
Yikes.
which is not that good.
Why?
I guess not sleep. Like I've been sleeping. Like once I fall asleep, it's fine. But I have been having trouble like falling asleep, and I think part of it is because I've been reading before I go to bed, and the books that I've been reading have been very sad. I finished It Ends With Us. I think I mentioned this in my last I don't remember. It was really sad and heartbreaking. And then I reread The Fault in Our Stars. Have you ever read that book?
By John Green?
Yeah.
No.
It's like I read it when I was like 12 or 11, and
no
I
way.
reread it just because like I didn't have anything else to read. I'm waiting for my order to come in, but like it was so much more sad now that I guess I'm an adult and I understand sad things.
Can you give a little gentle synopsis without any spoilers?
Yeah, it's about a girl, Hazel Grace, who has cancer, and she meets this boy, Augustus Waters, at a cancer support group. And then it's kind of about how they fall in love and stuff like that.
So they both have cancer, or is
Because the cancer support group is like all of them have cancer, and they're kind of like talk about it and stuff like that.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah, and it's in a church.
That's some heavy stuff, my guy.
Yeah, but it's like aimed towards more like preteen ages.
Really?
But it is quite sad. It's like a love story. Yeah, it was made into a movie too. I want to rewatch the movie. Because I feel like I'm going to cry. When I was 12 and I watched the movie, I didn't cry because I like...
Okay, psychopath.
Okay. Okay, anyways.
Next. Thorn.
Oh, wait, yeah. No, that was the thorn.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
Bud.
Bud. Okay, what am I looking forward to? For me, I'll get into this a little later, but I'm looking forward to getting back into running. I've had an injury for a really long time, and I wouldn't necessarily say it's fixed, but it is better than before, better enough to start running, and we're just going to take it gently. I was actually initially quite anxious about getting back into running, but it is, if you view it from the perspective that like you're a noob again, and then the progression comes a lot faster, you hit better numbers quicker. So you have that positive feedback. So I'm like, you know what? Actually, maybe it's not that bad. Yeah. So it should be a good time.
It means I get
Fingers
to
crossed.
text you less because you'll be out running
Knock
again
on
all
wood.
the time.
Yeah. Just check my Strava.
Yeah, you're going to be busy all the time. My bud...
is looking forward to me running, so you have more personal time.
My bud is probably this episode. Although it started a little awkward, I was actually really looking forward to doing an episode with you and another person in general. I think it's very different, obviously, and yeah, and I think we've gotten over the awkward patch now. It's a little better.
I don't know about that one. Uh-oh.
Yeah.
Good bud.
Thanks.
Yeah. A real-time bud.
Yeah. Looking forward
Live
to it.
action.
Okay.
Nice.
Now that that's out of the way, I guess we should kind of start with an introduction to you. Like, who are you? Because as I was planning this episode, I was thinking about how a lot of, I guess, the viewers that I don't know personally, that aren't my friends in the real world, have never really met you and don't know who you are. And then also, like, my friends, I feel like a lot of them don't know who you are either because of, like, we've been dating in COVID. I've barely even seen my friends. And you're not, like, at UBC in that sphere, yeah. So,
okay.
who are you? Who is this mysterious man?
I've had a very complicated past, but I'll give you some, like, general stats about me. I went to university for computer engineering. And then once COVID started, I had an opportunity to kind of take a break from that. And that's kind of when I got into tutoring. Since then, it's been like a more than year and a half. I've moved on to a managerial role in the company, and it's become very fulfilling. It's exciting in the sense that I'm not too worried now about what I am doing, but more worried about like a positive work environment, and the work is satisfying, and it is how do you say, evidently rewarding, right? In computer engineering, it was quite difficult because you could work on a project and not see its fruition for a very long time. You're kind of like one component of the project. But in tutoring, you kind of get that instant feedback when you're working with the students. So it's kind of like, it feels more human. And I find that to be very satisfying. There's also a lot of soft skills that I'm learning now, having stepped into the managerial role. That is, oof. It's pretty tough, right? Because you have people that have seniority over you, but now you're in a position that kind of manages them. So you have to like tread carefully. You don't want to you don't want to step on anybody's toes, but at the same time, you got to make sure that your position is held. You're trying to make sure that the ship is not sunk. So it's been interesting. But that's a bit about me. Oh, I'm 26, by the way.
Old.
I
Actually, I have a question I don't think I've ever asked you before. Is what made you go into computer engineering, like in university? Because I don't think we've ever talked about this, actually.
Okay. In passing, we have.
We have?
Sorry. Okay, well, I went into university for engineering just because all my friends were doing it. And it seems like the go-to STEM, right? Because it's like, you're a high schooler. How can you possibly make the right decision, right? But it seemed like, oh, okay, there's good payout. It's challenging. It's in sciences. It's applied. Should be a good time, right? And very applicable to many disciplines. So I was like, even if I hate specifically engineering, maybe there's like some field that uses engineering that I don't hate. Yeah. But how I settled on computer engineering was because I had an old roommate, Brian, that really got me into programming. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. And he helped me install my first Linux machine. It was on a Mac. That's so funny because if you guys are familiar, both of those operating systems are Unix. So it's like, why would you do that? It's sacrilegious. But yeah, he helped me get that set up, and I got really into it. I installed my own window manager, it was a very good programming experience. It was like the first time where I built something that was functional for me, and it was a rolling project. So how I describe that is that almost every single day I would make some contribution to it. Oh, and maybe I should describe what a window manager is. It's basically like you control all of the user interface that a computer would normally have. So file managers, search bars, everything you program or configure yourself. Yeah, that was a pain in the ass. For anybody that's interested, get ready for that. Yeah, so that's how I got into it. I was like, wait, this is actually kind of interesting because you're building things that are very, very, like you can build things that are custom tailored for your needs. And at that time, that's what I really loved about it. Because I'm very high maintenance, as many knows. So I really wanted a lot of custom things specific for my needs, and programming solved that. Yeah.
Oh, that's actually pretty cool.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Oh, now you know.
We talked about that like at the very beginning of our relationship. Okay, it's been over a year, bro.
Bro?
Okay, so outside of school, work, who are you as a... What are your hobbies?
That's it.
Oh.
I got nothing else going. No, just, I maybe like the most standout thing is that once COVID started, actually, my boss sent me on this. He was like, you know what, you should get into running. And I was like, okay, sure. And then literally that night, I ran my first 10K, and that was really painful. Specifically, I think it was like 12 point something kilometers. And it was like, I was completely done. But it was very satisfying in the sense that like you just feel completely expunged of all energy and you don't have anything left in you to be worried, mad, frustrated. It's just that you just feel very empty and pure. And I was like, good stuff. But then I had to walk home in the cold. That was not fun. But yeah, so I got really into running, and months pass and I'm progressing and whatever. And one day I end up, like I would say 3 months after that day, I ran my first half marathon. And the very next day after, I ran my first marathon distance. Oh my gosh. And no, I'm not like athletically gifted or anything like that. The marathon aspect was actually, it's kind of sad. A friend of sorts died, and it was how I coped with it. Because, I'm not in a position where I can just throw a fit, bang on the walls, destroy things, right? So it's like, it was my only outlet, couldn't go to the gym. So running really helped me through that moment, through his death, through just dealing with the sadness, because I've had depressive issues in the past, and he was kind of there to kind of ease that. So to see him go because of depressive issues was very, very sad. But yeah, there was a moment in the run of that marathon where I was running through the dark and I was imagining I was holding his hand, like trying to pull him out of the darkness. And then it was really crazy because it was at that exact moment that I imagined that in my head, the street lights around me went out. So it was like it felt very, whoa. Yeah. So that was I kept on running after that until a recent injury. Yeah. So that's what I do in my free time. I run.
And that's about it, because all his other free time is spent with me.
Yeah.
Girlfriend, tax on time.
It's a heavy one.
You love it. Okay. Well, thanks for introducing yourself. That was pretty detailed.
That was well in depth.
Yeah, and it was good. Yeah. I feel like our students that are going to watch this is going to be like, whoa, there's a whole nother side.
Yeah, who's this? Who is this guy?
Right? So, because this episode is kind of centered around our relationship and that stuff, I thought it'd be fun to start with a little icebreaker, which is a quiz about me for Jerry.
Yikes.
It's actually quite short. There's only 4 questions, so you'll be okay.
Is there any ramifications if I get them wrong?
Not immediately, but once we stop recording.
Okay.
Okay, first question. How old am I? And what is my exact birth date?
Oh, it's already doomed. Oh, no. Oh, no.
This kind of ties into later.
Wait.
About
Am I allowed to say that?
Yeah.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah, it's fine.
You are 5 years younger than me, so that makes you 21. Okay, good.
Yeah, that's right. I'm 21.
And I know your birthday is in April. Oh, right? Oh, shoot. Yeah, okay,
Yes,
good.
it is. Oh my! I didn't think this was gonna be the hard one. I thought this was gonna be like the easy one.
And the day, it's before mine. Oh, shoot. I'm going to have to take a guess on this one.
Oh my god.
3rd?
Oh my god. What about year?
2000.
He's gonna be scared to talk. 2000s.
2000s.
April 2nd. I'm a week. My birthday's a week before yours. Exactly 1 week.
1 day off. That's not bad, guys. That's not bad. Okay, half points, right? Like 75% I got.
Okay, sure. Okay, next one. What is my favorite color?
Oh, it's a orange.
Oh, okay.
Oh.
Nice. Okay.
Got
I
him.
wasn't sure if you're going to remember, but I know we talked about this
Yeah,
recently.
recently. Good, thank God.
Number 3. I am at Cactus Club. What is the drink in front of me? It can't be alcoholic or non-alcoholic. I have answers for both.
Wait, what? I'm supposed to guess what you would order as a drink
Yeah.
at Cactus?
Yeah. Cactus is just okay. It doesn't have to be Cactus. It'd be like anywhere. I guess at Cactus there is one alcoholic drink that I would order, but the non-alcoholic I would probably order anywhere. There's actually a lot of options for this.
Oh man, you're
Wait,
setting me up to
I'm
fail.
increasing your
Yeah,
answer
you're setting me up to
choice.
fail. Jeez, I remember what I drank. It was like
was
the
it?
Kyoto Fizz. Okay, if you guys ever visit Cactus Club, it's actually very nice. Very nice. Oh, shit. No, I look like a narcissist now. I don't know, some like fruity alcoholic drink, you all right?
Yeah.
But I
okay.
don't know the names of them.
It's fine. You don't even know the name.
Okay, well,
that
there
was
you
like
go.
actually just the gist that I was looking for.
Yeah, it's-
Something fruity and alcoholic.
Yeah.
What about a non-alcoholic option?
See, that was the one, like, I was racking my head. I was like, oh, jeez, I don't know. I don't know, water?
Okay, water's a good option. Yeah, most of the time I drink water.
Hydrate or dihydrate, you say that all the time. Guys?
I was also going to accept apple juice or lemonade.
You're a child.
Yeah, I am. Okay, last one. Oh, you're definitely not going to get this one.
What the? Way to have some faith, my guy.
We've never talked about this, I don't think.
Okay. Oh, well, then I'm screwed.
What is /R my favorite movie, bracket S? As in there may be plural options.
Wait, what? Hit.
What is my favorite movie? There's two.
Can you give me the category? Like rom-com, anime, or... Probably not.
One is... They're both like family-friendly movies. One is really old. And the other... Yeah, is just like family-friendly. But
Oh.
they're both real life. They're not animated.
Oh.
So Kung Fu Panda is not one of them.
Oh, okay.
I don't think we've actually ever talked about this because you and I have very different movie choices.
Yeah, I don't think we
So-
have. But if I were to recommend a movie for Manny, good save. I would recommend like that Disney movie where they have the moods of the girl.
Oh, Inside Out?
Yeah, Inside
Oh,
Out.
I like Inside Out.
Oh,
I watched it.
there we go.
That's Pixar.
Get the idea. Yeah, I don't know what your favorite movie is.
One of them is The Wizard of Oz. The
wow.
one from 1959.
The live action.
Yeah, with Judy Garland. And the other one is Pitch Perfect, the first one, the a cappella one. I don't think you've even heard
I think
of it.
you've mentioned
I've
that.
talked
actually.
to. I think I've.
But I didn't know. it was
For the
your
sake
favorite.
of you looking good, and we're gonna say we've never talked about it before.
Thanks, guys.
Okay, wow, that took a little longer than I thought.
Passing marks, maybe?
I'll just say that, like, I guess in this relationship in particular, we've never really like focused on these like
Oh, trivia.
minuscule,
Minuscule.
trivial things about the other person. I guess.
Yeah. And somehow it makes it into your podcast.
Yeah, I just wanted to see how you would do. I thought it'd be fun.
I had fun. Sweating a bit.
Okay, but good job. Yeah, you passed. Flying colors. It's you. You'll always pass.
Wow. Blush.
But we're going to move on and kind of talk about, I guess, our relationship finally. I think our getting together story is pretty interesting, so we wanted to talk about that for a little bit.
Okay, since you've thought about this already, I'm sure you have it. Like,
Well, because I don't know the whole story, right? Because some of
Oh,
it started with you.
yeah.
Like, I wasn't involved.
Okay, let's get the intersection of what we both know out of the way first. So we met at work.
Yeah, so I've been working at my math place, since first year, and I'm going into fourth year now. So I've been here for a long time. And then just one day, January 2020, this dude looking ass pulls up into the center and is just there.
Yeah.
I actually, to be honest, really don't remember my first impression of you because we didn't really ever talk at work.
Yeah, until we had to help like one kid.
Until we had to help that grade 12.
I have a story about that.
Yeah. So I guess my first impression, wasn't until we actually talked for the first time. Like, we obviously introduced ourselves. And
did we?
I think we did. No, we definitely did. I remember introducing myself. I walked into the center, and you were already at work sitting. And I was like, oh, hey, I'm Manny. And then I think you said, like, oh, hi, I'm Jerry. And then I think that was it. We didn't talk for the first, like,
while.
Month? Felt
wow.
like a month.
It felt like a month. I felt like it was maybe like 2 weeks. Let's be real here. 3 weeks.
And then, because this was 2020, COVID hit in March. So basically our center shut down and we transitioned into online learning.
But maybe before that,
you can share
I'll share
you can share
my first impression. I don't specifically remember, but I do remember you walking in and you had this attitude, you know?
What?
Like you walked in and I immediately like felt this presence, you know?
My gosh.
You know, like when somebody takes like where they dive into a pool but they bomb it, like just belly flop in.
Okay.
That's what it felt like when you entered the room. It was like,
I don't know if I should be offended.
my tranquility immediately disturbed. Yeah, but that was the first time that like I remember of you, and you came in the center and you just strutted down the carpet with this like, I own this shit attitude. And I was like, oh Lord, this is somebody I need to be careful with.
Okay, I've never heard this.
Oh yeah, true.
What the?
Because I was like, oh, okay, this is somebody that I should be very like formal with, very proper, because I feel like I will get canceled instantly if I say something wrong. And I am right. Yeah, that was my earliest memory of you, just you walking. This is when you used to have like the blonde little bits at the end of your hair.
Oh, yeah.
And then I think that specific day you were wearing green joggers. Because at the time, I remember this because, not because I'm a pervert, but because I was also looking for green joggers at the time. And I was like, oh, damn, those look cool. Yeah. And I was like, good shit. Yeah, like an absolute Titanic through the water.
Oh, my God.
Yeah. That's my earliest memory. Yeah. But our first real interaction, aside from greeting, was we were both trying to help this one student with a like permutations question. It's quite difficult. And I remember,
oh my God,
they didn't even let me read the question. They were just like, let me explain it to you. And it was like 3 people talking to me at once. I'm like, oh, okay.
Yeah, because, Gary was there.
Gary was there.
And his
Alex. Yeah.
Because, my friend and I were trying the question at first, but I'm not the best with combinatorics. So we enlisted Gary at first because we were more familiar with him at the time because he was working for a couple months before you. And then Gary, I don't think, could get it either. And
not
then,
immediately.
Yeah, and then we had to ask Jerry. But I tried to explain the question to him.
You and Alex tried.
But because I barely understood the question.
It was so crazy because like they were both just, everybody's talking at once and everybody's saying some different part of the question. So I'm like, I couldn't even write anything down because I was too busy like, who's talking bullshit right now? Yeah. And I just ended up going like, wait guys, just let me read the question. And when I read the question, they only got the numbers right. They got the complete context of the problem wrong. And I'm like, internally, I'm like, oh my God, these animals. Yeah. But so these guys have been working on it for like God knows how long, like 20 minutes.
Yeah,
before I got in on that. And then within like 5 minutes, I'm still here just reading the question, right? And I wrote a few notes down. Manny comes up, is like, so did you get it yet? I'm just like, my internal response was like, bitch. Yeah, but my external response, I was like, oh, not yet. I'm still wrapping my head around. Yeah, but inside I was like, this woman is Not it. Yeah, those are some early memories. Not the fondest.
Okay.
But everything from there on was pretty good. Yeah.
Started from the bottom,
Yeah,
then
yeah.
you can only go up.
Yeah.
I guess another thing was, at that time when I met you, I guess, like, first interaction, I didn't really think much of it. I think the first couple interactions, like first month maybe.
Yeah.
And because at the time I was actually very, like, I was like, I hate men. I'm never dating again.
I remember this. Yeah.
Yeah.
This is a difficult hurdle.
At the beginning of 2020. Yeah, I was like, oh, I'm done with men. I'm never dating again. Like, this is an independent girl year, like 2020, first year of the decade, stuff like that. But I just remember, like, for the longest time, I was very intrigued by you.
What does intrigued mean?
I was just, like, interested in getting to know you more. And, like,
Just to know more because you're nosy, or because you're like, that's a hot piece of ass. I wasn't running back then, so I don't think so.
I don't know. I was just intrigued.
Romantically
It was just
intrigued?
the vibes.
Oh, the vibes. Okay.
Well, I wasn't, like, at first I wasn't like, oh my gosh, let me get to know this person so I can date them.
Yeah.
But I think a little later when we started to, like, get to know each other in COVID. But at the beginning I was just like, first this man enters the center.
Takes
New
all the
instru-
children.
Yeah, right? Like, what the... So I was very, yeah. But not romantic at first. I was just kind of like, who is this guy? And I want to know more about him.
I see. It was my ability to teach students that caught your attention.
Oh my
Very nice. Good stuff. Stay in stool, kids. Stool. Stay in school.
Yeah, and you were, like, pretty different, actually, because I've seen a lot of instructors come and go in our center, but, like, you were one that was very quick to captivate a lot of kids.
Oh yeah,
So I was like, whoa, like, this guy is
insane.
competition.
True. True. Yeah, I also thought that was very surprising. Okay, because I did not think that so like a large majority of the students would gravitate to my method of interaction so quickly. Yeah, that was positive stuff.
Yeah, so that was kind of like the first few months before COVID hit. I was just kind of silently observing and watching, and yeah.
In relative secret.
Yeah.
Oh, cool. Wow. That's very cute. Wow. Good stuff. Oh yes. And how did things escalate from there? The owner of the center actually, I think it was like 3 or 4 months into me working there, he took me out to lunch, and he essentially just asked like, oh, you know, what are you thinking for your future? Like, because when I first got into the job, I explained to him that, oh, it's going to be quite temporary. I don't think I'm going to stay long term, because I was just like, oh, I'm just going to wait out COVID and go back and finish school or something, go back to my internship, whatever. Yeah, but he took me out to lunch, and he just asked like, hey, would you be interested in, you know, managing the center, stuff like that. And like, because he doesn't want to be like, oh, you know, like, can I propose you not going back to school? So that, right? Because he has a fine line to tread too, right? He doesn't want to push people off of opportunities, whatever, right? And I was quite keen on the idea too. So I was like, oh yeah, I think it might work out. So we can progress forward, and we'll just see how it goes, right? Because I can't really promise you anything. Anyway, we're just eating and chilling. It was at Cactus too. Oh, what a memorable restaurant. And then we had a lull in our conversation, and he springs this up on me. He was like, you know, Manny's quite a catch. And I was just so taken like by surprise by this statement. I was just like, what is this man trying to say, right? Is he like like a couple of things went through my head. It was first was like, is he trying to keep me in the job by by offering Manny a sacrifice? And then the second part was like, wait, can he say this? Is it okay for him to say this? And then the third thing is like, oh shoot, is he testing to see if I'm like fucking around with his instructors?
I don't know if you,
I don't think so.
because we never really talked at the beginning.
Yeah. But then like, I think he was just testing. I don't know what he was doing. He's playing some 3D chess. Yeah. But yeah, those three thoughts came like into my head. And then the only thing I could muster up as a response was like and I just went back to eating my poke. I was like, interesting. Huh. Yeah, because like I felt like my response might compromise me, so I was just like, it's best just not to say anything. And but I will acknowledge that he says something, because I don't want to just be like, yeah. So I just acknowledged what he said, and I was like,
Yeah, so fast forward a little, COVID hits, and our center has to transition into online teaching. And I guess, like, why did you teach in center? Because you didn't have a computer, right?
I didn't want. Oh no, I brought my laptop, but
It was just more convenient to go on the big screen.
oh, okay. Well, there's a couple personal motivations. Oh, yeah, this is interesting.
Oh, wait, what?
Yeah, sort of. Anyway, my laptop, it's an X1 Carbon. I put Linux on it, so it doesn't play well with a lot of like things that are meant for Windows. So I was just like, oh, I'll bring it along because I'm familiar with using it. I'm quick to do certain applications with it, but maybe the system just doesn't play well with Linux. So I'm just like, I'll bring it as a backup, but I'll use the center's computer to teach.
Yeah. So everyone started teaching at home, but it was only us two that stayed in center to teach. And it's just because I really didn't want to stay at home. And
No other reason? no other
I
reason?
guess I had personal reasons for it.
Yeah, I did too. First reason was like, oh, I have an opportunity to like maybe vibe with Manny. That sounds pretty cool, right? Just like, you know, when you're a wolf on the hunt. Yeah, that's not the best way to put it. And then the second reason was that like, I think I value in-person interactions because I think you can get a long ways. Because I'm confident in my ability to convey myself and articulate ideas. And I think that really helps me build relations. And I wanted to build a relationship with our boss. So I was like, well, then it makes a lot of sense for me to come in person, right? It also gives me the opportunity to seem more reliable because like any issue regarding tech that would come up, you know, I'm like right there to help him. Yeah. So personally, it furthered my relation with the boss and to kind of like solidify the managerial position that was coming up. And also, oh, cool. So personal time with Manny seems good.
I think, in my opinion, the first thing that really like sped up me being more interested in you. Oh, I was also still like really against dating at the time. I was like, I'm interested in this person, but I'm never gonna date again. Was when like you like asked me to go on a walk with you, because this was like peak when COVID first hit, and I was like, whoa, that's pretty weird. But I said yes because I was obviously like a little interested in getting to know this person a little more. Yeah.
Oh yeah, I remember that. Like for me, my main memory from that walk was I said something specifically to you. I was like, "You make no sense to me." And maybe I'll explain myself a little bit. You didn't make a lot of sense because I just thought you were too nice. You were too nice for what your upbringing provided you. Because I think it's like very difficult to be a genuinely giving person, patient person, when you've been brought up like not needing to exercise those skills, right? Okay, sorry guys, camera cut out. I was saying that you come from a privileged background. So I felt it was very strange that, yeah, you were just so kind, right? Because like a lot of people in those positions, when a lot of issues are solved with abundant resources, it's very hard, I think, to have a perspective on different people's, like privilege, opportunity, stuff like that. And I just felt like you were acutely sensitive to that. And I thought that was just such a rare quality. So I was like, wow, okay, maybe this guy is just a good soul. Yeah. So that was what intrigued me.
Okay, because this episode has already been an hour, which I did not think so. We actually had so many other things we wanted to talk about. I think we're just going to wrap up the story of how we got together and how we met and all that. And then Jerry will have to come back for another episode in a couple weeks, and we can continue talking about our relationship and all the like actual things that we wanted to talk about today.
Wow, dude, I am a gold mine of content.
Truly. But after that first walk around my neighborhood, we continued walking together a lot more. I'd say like maybe on a weekly basis at this point.
Yeah. Oh my God. Because at least once a week, the center would be completely just me and you.
Oh yeah, on Saturdays.
Saturdays, yeah. Because our boss man liked to take those days off, which makes a lot of sense. So we just came in center to teach online. It's nothing like super crazy, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, but that was oh yeah, and then we started having like lunches together.
Yeah, so we hung out a lot more, I guess, and me personally, I was like more and more intrigued. I was like, whoa, okay, like this. As I learned more about you, I was like, oh, okay, yeah, like, whoa. And I can kind of feel it reciprocating, right? Like, you just get those vibes of this person is also interested in me.
Yeah.
And then that kind of went on for like 2 more months from March when COVID hit to May or so. We would hang out a lot, like get lunch together at work. Even outside of work, we would hang out and all that.
I was in the simp cage for a long time, boys. Yeah. And then I think like on one of our walks, you stated that your mom said like, he's chasing after you.
Yeah, my mom knew what's up before I even knew.
Yeah. And then internally, I was like, oh, wow, what the hell? The mom's already on to me? What the? Yeah. And I think that kind of like broke open a little barrier of entry for me. Like, oh, okay, like if she can bring this up without like going like, yeah, that's a positive thing, right? So I was like, actually, maybe this could work out. So not too much time after that, we finished work one shift, and we were passing by a grocery store, and then I didn't know how to state it in a way that, because I felt like she had commitment issues.
Oh yeah.
So I didn't want it to make it seem like, all right, give me your arm, it's cuffed, it's done. But I just wanted to like, I wanted to see you with purpose. I think that's kind of word for word what I said, right? But it started out like this. I was like, hey, do you want to start seeing each other? And then there was a pause. Oh.
My live reaction starting now. What?
Yeah, maybe like 3 times the volume. And like inside I was like, bruh, what does that even mean? Yeah, I was a little nervous there.
In my mind, it was because like I could kind of feel it coming. Like I knew it was gonna come one day that you were gonna ask something like that, but I didn't expect it to be that day. And then also like, I guess you're just a little older than me, but I've never heard anyone say it that way.
Okay, yeah.
That was like another like, oh,
that's different.
Interesting. Yeah.
Because like if you say, hey, do you want to start dating? That's like it feels like you're jumping a couple of steps. I don't know. Personally.
Yeah, or a lot of people say like, oh, what are we and stuff.
Yeah, I didn't want to have that conversation, but like all I wanted to convey was like, look, we've been seeing each other, going on walks and stuff, and I think that's like, abnormal. And I just want us to have the right mindset when we're doing this. I don't want this to seem like, oh, are we deepening a friendship? Like, because
Just put you in the friend zone,
Yeah.
like, oh, BFF.
because I think it's just so, it would be very disingenuous. Oh, that's something I said too. Yeah, it would be very
Yeah.
disingenuous if I was hanging out with you with romantic motives, and pretending to be a friend. I don't know, right? So I just wanted to clear that off my conscience. And it's like, it was almost as if it was like a, kind of just a one-sided proposal. I was just like, look, if I'm going to be seeing you again, please understand I am romantically interested in you. I don't want to, like, yeah.
Yeah, but on my end, it took me approximately.
Took you 2 weeks. Oh my God, wait, did it?
It
Oh
took me 2 months.
It took you 2 weeks for us to talk about it again. Remember?
Did it really?
Yeah. Because, like, the first week, we kind of, like...
Oh, it was very awkward
That
when
was
we
quite
went back
awkward.
to work the next time. I remember you were like, you messaged me after. You were like, oh, I'm trying to give you space and stuff. And I was like, whoa, what's going on?
so mature.
Yeah. But yeah, I guess after that, I do have commitment issues from previous relationships and other trauma. So it took me a long time to like figure out what I wanted, I guess. Because I'm also like such an overthinker. I was like, well, if he's asking this, that means like we're going to have to start dating and blah, 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 blah. And then I got too in my head about down the spiral, you know. So it took me a really long time. I remember some days after work, we would talk for like 2 or 3 hours, just not even about dating each other, but solely about like, what does seeing each other mean?
Holy, yeah, dude, I remember that. Sitting on the curb.
I feel so bad for
oh,
you. I'm so sorry I put you through that.
That was, wow. I was
Yeah.
a patient man.
You really were.
I was a patient wolf. Jesus. Yeah, dude, young Jerry was
Yeah, and
really
I
put
think
in work.
that went on for 2 months.
Something like that, yeah. I wouldn't say exactly. A little shorter.
A little less than that. Until I guess like there's this one. I think by the end of the 2, like after a lot of weeks, by like July, I was kind of like, I do really like you. Like internally, when I was thinking, I was like, I do really like Jerry, and like, I was kind of like, why not? I guess I kind of got over my anti-dating thing. That was like a
Yeah, in one universe, you would have been like a hard feminist SJW, like no men ever.
yeah. That's
But
me
now
now. And so then one night I made him a little card,
Oh,
and it was like a little bouquet of flowers on the cover, and I handmade it, by the way, because I like hand making cards. It's pretty cute. And then I kind of wrote on the inside, I don't even remember, but I was kind of just like, oh, what did I say? I was like, there's no reason. What did I say?
it was basically like a lot of word shuffling, and then the last like paragraph was like I want to, like, something about like I want to express that I'm, like, I don't know the exact words, but the feeling was that like,
I was the one that asked him out at the end. I'm gonna make it very
okay.
clear.
oh, okay.
I was the one that
Oh,
proposed to make
okay.
it official.
Okay. Oh, yeah. Okay. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. And then that's how we kind
And
of.
then we started dating, and now it has been over a year, almost 13 months at the day that we're recording this. That should have been one of the quiz questions. When's our anniversary?
The 10th. The 10th.
But yeah, because that took so much longer, we had actually a lot of other things that we wanted to talk about, but figured that I guess a detailed story about how we got together would be pretty cool for your first episode on.
Yeah.
Just because I think we did get together in like a non-conventional way.
Ooh, traditional but non-conventional. Just because.
Yeah, like it wasn't like a dating apps like swipe right on Tinder thing.
I don't think I would have made it through that filter gate. Okay, you can say that now, but I don't think,
Depends on
ratchet
what
Manny.
your pictures were.
Me running?
You didn't run at that time.
I would have.
I'm thinking about like your Facebook profile picture. We put that up. Your Google one. If your Google one on, I would have swiped right.
Really? Wow.
Yeah.
Okay, big.
Your old Google one. But anyways. I guess that's the end of this episode.
Yeah.
How did that go?
Pretty good. Yeah, I would say that was I said a lot more than I thought I was going to be honest. I went in a little more depth than I thought I was going to. But we've also like jumped over a lot of details. But I think, again, this episode is kind of just to break the ice, get myself out there so y'all know who I am.
Yeah, Jerry wants to start a YouTube channel. So if you would subscribe, leave a comment down below and let him know. He would make videos about running. And cooking. He really likes cooking.
I am a
Chef.
Okay.
I think that's it, I guess. Oh, actually, I had a question
Oh, yeah.
that I thought would be really fun.
Oh, encore.
Who do you think wears the pants in our relationship?
Oh, indoors you, outdoors me.
What does
Yeah,
that mean?
easy.
Wait,
question.
what?
When we're together outside, I wear the
Like in
pants.
public?
Yep.
That's because I have anxiety now.
And then when we're in our private space, you wear the pants. You wear the pants. You are the alpha dog.
Well, that's a good note to end on. I hope you enjoyed this episode. Let me know if you did in the comments below or whatever, if you want Jerry back on.
Big.
See you next week. Bye.
And I was like, yo.